This company was up until December of 2023 was operating out of a black banker's ledger book. The entire schedule was written down in a book that was kept on a desk.
Welcome back to Smart Talk, where we help you go from truck to CEO by working smarter, not harder. I'm your host, Anna Zubia, and today we're joined by someone who proves you can modernize a moving company without losing the heart behind it. Shawn Magnus is the owner of Hendra Moving Company in beautiful British Columbia, Canada, where they run local moving and storage, commercial freight, and even a courier service, all out of one location. Shawn, welcome to Smart Talk.
Good to be with you.
Well, I'm really excited because I think you have a fantastic story to tell here. You and your partner stepped into a business that was like fully paper-based still, right? No computers, a handwritten schedule, ledger books. What was that like?
It was unreal. So we took over the business in December of 2023. And my background, I own a courier service and logistics company that handles small, medium packages. And now we also handle larger freight. But we took over the moving company. We purchased it a couple of years ago from a gentleman who had really done a good job building a nice, reputable brand in our community. He was an older British man, and he had really high standards for his customers and had a particular way about him. And that was really reflected in the way that they managed their business. But he was 73 years old and he was holding on to his business for likely a lot longer than he really should have, and was looking for a solution to be able to carry what he built forward into the future. I talked to him about what my belief systems are with relation to customer service, employee development, team building, operationally, how a business needs to function in the service industry in order to be efficient and ultimately be profitable, and in turn be good stewards of the business and members of our community. And he liked the proposal, and I was able to get my hands on a really lovely business that had a good bones to it and a good heart for service. And that really aligned well with me. This company was up until, if you could believe it, December of 2023 was operating out of a black banker's ledger book. The entire schedule for its entire staff of 30 employees was all written down in a book that was kept on a desk. And it was that they organized their entire team and customer delivery every single day. And it was messy. We had a staff that would show up here to start their day at 8 o'clock, and they'd be waiting to find out who they're working with, what truck they're going on, what customers they're going to serve, what was the scope of work for the job they'd been assigned that day. And none of that information was available to staff prior to arriving for work at 8 a.m. in the morning. And once they found out what they were doing, they were given a triplicate copy, hard copy, paper work order, and off to work they would go. And messy.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare.
How did that change? How did you get out of that sticky nightmare?
SmartMoving was a huge help in that area. We knew that when we took over the business that we were going to, put computers in the building. We had to start there.
Yeah, they didn't even have a computer.
My background has always been working with CRMs and other software solutions in order to go about doing your business, of course. But that didn't exist here. They had a good system. It worked. It wasn't broken, but it certainly wasn't set up for the future. And it certainly wasn't set up for the growth that we've now started to achieve and continue to achieve and aspire to achieve going forward.
I'm curious if you still have the black book, Shawn. Did you keep it for prosperity or what?
There are boxes of black books that stretch back years into the past that have all been kept in records storage.
Oh,
and
how funny.
hundreds of thousands of customers annually, all of them were organized in just a written down black book. Unbelievable. But yeah,
Wow.
we do. We have them all.
It's like a museum. It's a pretty bold change, right? To come into that business and change the way that they operated and modernize it. And a lot of people that I've talked to, they ease into it, but it sounds like you were like, nope, I gotta fix this. I gotta rip the Band-Aid off. Like if we're gonna grow. How did that go about? Like how did that change how your teams are managed, right?
Everything from the customer intake to scheduling of staff and, dispatching of trucks and claims reconciliation, all of that, invoicing, the whole thing. That was all a manual thing prior to this. And so when I introduced it, I did it on day one. Literally the day that we came in is like, we're going to be migrating now to a electronic system that brings us into the times that we are living. And in so doing, we will ingest tons more customers. We'll be able to follow up with people better. Our customer service delivery is going to be so much better as a result. And these are just the tools that we absolutely have to adopt in order to move forward. And so thus began the change. It was very difficult though, because we made a mistake at the beginning and selected the wrong service provider. And that
Mm.
set us back a number of months because it took a little while for us to get used to working with a piece of software. And by the time that we had ramped up, made it part of our everyday lives, I determined that it wasn't the solution for us. I learned a lot in the buying process while we were selecting a program to go with, and ultimately selected the wrong one at the beginning. I was much better prepared to ask the right questions and pull out the right information when I went through a new selection process, which ultimately ended up being with SmartMoving.
I think what really stands out to me, you understood this wasn't like a tech upgrade. This was like a culture shift for the organization. And I love that you came in as a leader and explained to them, here's why, here's what it's going to do, here's how it's going to make our job easier, here's what it's going to do for our customers. That's something I picked up from you that I want to make sure our listeners really, really gravitate to that because that's so important. Like that made the change easier for you.
So, for
Yeah.
example, just the idea that you could have smart moving on your phone. Now, in the morning, you wake up in bed, you check your phone as we all do. And, oh, okay, I'm on a team today with Johnny and Dave. We're in truck 14 and we're going to go service Mrs. Caldwell over on Bank Street. It's a 6,000 pound local and it's coming into storage. I can mentally prepare myself for dealing with Dave and Johnny on the job today, understanding that, yeah, it's going to be a full day. We got 6,000 pounds coming into storage. You don't get here and surprise you're doing this today. And guys can be, oh, damn it, right? And now their attitude sucks. They might not like that particular job, whatever it might be. But I think from a culture standpoint, by preparing people, by having that information to them in a nice way like that, allowing yourself that mental preparedness to get ready to come in and do the job, actually changes culture because you actually have a more positive environment to kind of work in. And throughout the day, the ability to communicate through the tool to them and the fact that the tool prepares the customer for their arrival. Here's who's coming to work with you today. Here's even a picture of that person. That stuff sets up the customer to receive these guys when they arrive in a really positive way, right? Just takes the edge off anything and makes it a nicer place to work if you really adopt the tool into your business. Also, for growing moving companies or even lesser experienced moving companies, Smart Moving has done the research to capture all of the things that happen in all of the moving businesses that they relied on so that a lesser experienced moving company can take advantage of all of that, right? When you're configuring and setting up smart moving, it triggers all kinds. Oh, we could do this or we could do that. And
Yep.
this tool gives us that option. But you may not have ever thought about those options. But smart moving compels you to think about it while you're going through the setup and configuration process and onboarding process of adopting the program into your business. And that's really cool. That's super powerful because you're leveraging the experience of SmartMoving, who's researched the moving industry, to create this incredible tool while you're just maybe like a 4-man operation and getting started in the moving business. But now you've got this wealth of information that comes just by default because you purchased the program. And
And that's the whole idea too, is like we build stuff with movers and our by our side, not just in mind.
yeah,
It's that stuff that like, can we help get that into a good optimized
yeah.
format so that that
You know
takes the
what I
pressure and
love?
the stress off, right?
I love letting the customer know. Here's just a a simple little feature, but customers' ability to log into their work order and create notes that we can see. Customers love that, right? Everybody that's moving has a little update, right? And then they realize they got to call in, they got to wait through your, IVR or whatever you got on your phones, and then they're anxious. They're like, "Oh, we sold the bed. We don't need to move that anymore. How does that impact the moving?" It's not a big deal, right? They don't know. But if they
Yeah.
have a good sales rep like we have here, they'll be told, hey, listen, if there's anything you need to let us know, anything on game day that needs to happen that you want our crew to know, all of that's transparent. You just log on there, you type us a note, it'll be on the work order, visible to our crew. Communication will be, top notch because of this. And they love it. They can do that kind of thing with Smart Moving, interact with us, and they get the peace of mind knowing that this company is listening and following directions, my directions.
I think it's beautiful. I want to challenge our movers. If you're watching this and you bought a moving company or started one, right? What was the first thing you realized you had to change, right? Was it your pricing? Was it schedule? Was it customer service? Drop that down in the comments. This is where I think Shawn, this is where he really separates himself, right? We've been talking a lot about technology, but virtual estimates with all the tech available.
There is an element of virtual estimates that happen here at Hendra. It can't be avoided in some situations. But if I can reach you in person, I'm going to come to you in person. We take a lot of pride in doing in-home estimates. Moving, in my mind, is not just picking up the furniture and the boxes and the contents of the house and moving it from one place to the other. That's what it is for us, providing the service. That's what we ultimately
That's
do.
what you're known for.
But for our customers, it's more than their stuff.
Yeah.
It's the house that they've lived in, that they raised their children, and they're moving to another house, oftentimes for reasons that aren't so happy. It's a senior citizen that is downsizing, that is nervous, that hasn't moved in a long, long time. And this whole thing is just daunting beyond belief. It is incredible how unique everybody's moving situation can be. We need the time, the care, and the attention with every one of our customers to show them that we are here to hold their hand through the process. We're here to consult with them, not just on sales day, but all the way through leading up to moving day, and create an individual approach for every individual that we serve. And having a program like Smart Moving clears the clutter away so that we can spend that time with those people. And that starts with an in-home estimate and a sit down at the customer's kitchen table to talk not just about everything that we're moving and where it's going, but what matters to them. Do we need to remove some clutter and do some junk removal? Do we need to donate certain items? Moving is a logistical nightmare for most people, and we are here to help. Our company motto is Hendra Helps. And Smart Moving certainly helps us deliver that message and mean it and then back it up.
It's incredible. I love that. Hendra Helps.
For me, it's less about the cleverness of the Hendra Helps words and more about the meaning behind that word. Are we helping every day?
You clearly understand your customer. Shawn knows the ideal customer profile for Hendra and knows exactly what they need and has clearly done that research. And so I think that's the important part.
Hendra Helps not only is a good message for our customers, but it helps develop our culture here internally. I like to edify our people as best I can by helping remind them that when you truly adopt a helper's mentality, that you are more meaningful in the work that you're choosing to do as a mover than just somebody who's humping furniture on their back all day.
Yes.
I think some day, and sometimes you won't even know that you're doing it. But if you truly adopt that into your um, value system as a person, as an employee, that you're a helper, um, I believe that that can change your life as a person. I think you can take that mentality home with you to your family. I think you can demonstrate being a helper to your community. And if I can, in some way, impart that into the lives of some of the young men and women that work here, I think that I'm doing more than just moving homes. I'm impacting my community by helping people adopt a better way of living out a mindset that creates a positive uh, impact in the lives of our people and in the lives of our customers. And
The moving industry, we all know it's not, you don't get into it for the glamour, right? And it's
there's no
it's long
glamour.
days.
There's
Yeah,
no
it's
glamour in this business. You've got to find
no.
it within yourself. Take that win when Mrs. Caldwell gives you a dozen cookies as a gift for doing a great job. But the real reward is that we spend 8 to 10 hours a day together all day, every day, serving customers, doing kind of the same work every single day. How can you take some joy from that? Well, joy comes from being positive, loving yourself, and being able to extend that towards everybody you meet in this job. You're coming to work, you showed up. Let's make it joyful. You know,
I
let's
love
let's
it.
find a way. Let's find a way to create some joy today for ourselves and for our customers.
I want to come do a move with you.
You pull them down.
I love what you're building there, Shawn. Really helping lift up the team that's working around you and building this great brand in a place that people love to come and work. Hey, movers, that is how you build something that lasts. So Hendra helps, and I am all here for it. This has been absolutely incredible, Shawn. Thank you for being here. Yeah, if you guys got a lot of value from this conversation with Shawn and I, make sure you like this video. How are you bringing joy? Let's talk about that in the comments. I'll pop in or respond to you guys. And don't forget, subscribe for more Smart Talk because we're here to help you go from truck to CEO by working smarter, not harder. I'll see you next time.